Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I'm your host, Kevin Perkins. This is Michael Patrick, UWF alum.
Thank you.
91, 92, 93, played at UWF.
Correct.
I played soccer at UWF. I am here. I went to the World Cup yesterday. Incredible.
It is. Good times, huh?
Yeah, like really incredible. I was very lucky to get to go do that. But, okay, so I haven't I've pivoted this show, this media hub, whatever we do here at Surrounded by Sports, to where we're covering more proper football, more soccer. And I wanted to get with you for many reasons. One, you're incredibly knowledgeable. Two, you're an alum of UWF. You played at UWF. I want to say you were all conference?
I was all conference. I was all region as well.
All region,
yes.
all conference?
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about that, obviously. And then you have this career that branches from, I want to say you started a new career in college, athletics as a coach and as an admin in your 40s. Is that correct?
Yeah, I left West Florida, moved to Atlanta right around the Olympics time. So I came up here for the Olympics. I had a minor in journalism. I thought I was going to cover Olympic soccer when I moved here.
Yeah.
I went down to the Atlanta Journal. Thought I'd just knock on the door and go in and say, "Hey, I'm here. I'd like to cover the World Cup." They said those jobs have been given away years ago. So I went to a local magazine here. It was called On Site Magazine. Had the same kind of pitch with them. They said, "We'd love you to cover." Remember, I covered some of the World Cup for the Pensacola News Journal when I was there. I was, covering some of that. So I came here, was covering Olympic soccer for On-Site, went to a game over in Athens, saw some game, gave some reports on that. So I did that for a little bit when I'd moved here. And I was doing everything from waiting tables, bartending, doorman. I was doing a lot of things back then. When I had, when my daughter was born, Elena, we made the choice as a family to stay home, be a stay-at-home dad. So I was a stay-at-home dad for a couple of years. And when I went to return to the market to work, a lot of the medical opportunities that I was in were not available to me at the time. So. Head coach over at Oglethorpe University, a friend of mine, John Aiken. He's also a Pensacola alum, played at Pensacola Catholic. Asked me if I'd like to join his staff. So he kind of opened the door for college athletics for me. I worked on his staff for 3 years. We made the NCAA tournament in those years. First time in 50 years they'd never made the tournament. So we had made the tournament. At the time, that conference was transitioning to a different conference, and the AD, Jay Gardner, a mentor of mine, he actually left and became the first conference commissioner for the new conference, the SAA.
Yeah.
So he brought me along with him as his inaugural director of championships. So that's what kind of got my foot in the door. So I did that for several years with him. That opened up an opportunity at Spring Hill College that I actually moved down there as their assistant athletic director. And there's just so much to learn in administration that happens here. Did that for a couple more years. Opportunity at Emory opened. I went there as their assistant athletic director for marketing and events. So I was at every home event that Emory had. And I did that for several years, enjoyed the opportunity to learn, grow, find some new things. COVID kind of shifted a lot of people's direction and what they were doing. So I'd left, I went to Marriott, where I was helping host teams as they were coming out of COVID, coming down, that they were meeting COVID protocols, that they were providing breakfast, they were a good location. So basically selling beds. And I had done that for a little bit. Opportunity at Oglethorpe opened again. This is a decade later from my first stint, and John Aiken asked if I'd like to come join his staff again. So I came back again. Point out we made the NCAA tournament again that year. So I believe they've been 4 times. Happy to say I'm associated with 2 of those times that they did go. Was there for a little bit, and really that's where I was going to be. I enjoyed being around soccer and doing some of that. A friend of mine here called and said there was an opportunity here he thought was a good fit for me. I applied for it, went through the process of all of that, and was chosen to be a part of this organization. So
this is Westminister? high school.
Yeah, it's actually a K through 12.
K through 12, sorry. Yeah,
that's
K through
okay.
12.
It's a K through 12.
As you'll see too, we're going to tour it, and there'll be clips going in and out of the tour. You'll see it's more than K through 12 actually.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have pre-K as
Right.
well here.
Right.
And this is like 100 acres of incredible facilities, and you're going to get to see a lot of that.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, and we're going to talk because there's so many things that impress me about you. One is your organizational skills. We're going to get into that. One is your willingness to try new things. We're going to get into that. And we're going to get into football, soccer culture.
Let's do it.
We're going to get into how you got to UWF, and as much of that's possible. And then I may even clip up some stuff on the back end of this that may be on the show or not about the World Cup, as I do happen to have the opportunity to talk to somebody that knows a lot about soccer right here beside me. Sound good?
Let's do it. I'm in.
All that and more after this.
All right.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, a podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back, folks. I'm here with Michael Patrick. Now, what is your official title here at Westminister?
I'm the athletics facilities manager.
Right. You're the liaison between one part of admin, the sports department, and the people that do all the groundskeeping and everything.
All things athletics, all things facilities. So everybody in athletics, I've got 23 heads of programs that report to me what they need for game day, for practices. A lot of these needs or requests have to filter through our facilities team.
Right.
So all of them come to me, I relay it there, they tell me some of their needs, so it's never ending, it's a loop.
Right, year round.
Year round.
Right, because even when school's not in, like around us, there's camps. There's people swimming over here. There's an area where there's kids climbing rock walls and all kind of crazy stuff outside in this really neat area. You'll get some footage of that, some you won't. And then also there's kids playing basketball here. There's literally like 10 camps going on right now, along with
every
all
summer,
your
like
sports.
eight weeks worth. Every week is like this. So you have to kind of work around them. And at the same time, we're preparing for the fall.
Right.
We've got to be ready.
Construction,
When they get back, we've got this small window to get done what we need to get done. So we can be ready for the fall when some of those fall sports you saw begin.
Right.
Football season, volleyball season, cross-country season. So there's a lot going on.
100%. Okay, now you're born in Ohio. You wind up, you're in the Tampa area when you're 12-ish. I guess, were you always fast?
I was.
Right,
Well, you don't keep that. Was is the key word there.
Okay,
I was.
So if you don't know, okay, Mike, as we established earlier, was a very, very good player. But one of the keys to that, I believe, having watched you when we were in college, you were bigger for a soccer player. You're tall,
Right.
And you were fast.
And I was fast.
Those were
yes.
two of your key ingredients to being able to be a scorer, right?
Striker. Yes.
Yeah, right. And so, why did you gravitate to soccer? And also, was the culture in the Tampa region really big with with proper football?
So when I was younger, my parents put me in a lot of things. I remember they put me in football when I was younger, and I'll never forget this. I was playing with the younger team, midgets, whatever, Mighty Mites, whatever the younger one is, playing the bigger, older kids. And I remember getting hit so hard, I spit my mouthpiece out and bit through my tongue. I'm like, football's not going to be for me.
Right.
Tried baseball. The ball was just coming in a little too fast on the inside. I mean, I'm scared. Some people were scared of the ball. That wasn't bad. I didn't want to catch. I didn't want to feel. I just didn't like it. Didn't gravitate towards it. And you make these decisions yourself.
Yeah.
That wasn't for me. Didn't really have the coordination in basketball as well. Just was fast and would run, but didn't have some of the skill sets by that point that I think you need.
Right.
And when I tried soccer, it was right away. I knew that was it. I liked
immediately
the teamwork. I liked where they were playing me. I liked the coaches. I just loved the game.
Yeah.
So, I gravitated towards that. I stayed in that. I think once you make a decision, and that's what I think is best. Being a parent now, let them make the decision. Too many people try to force their kids to play what they like, what they want. Most of the times that doesn't work. They want to make their own decisions. So I learned that. I made my decision. Soccer was for me. Played at a pretty competitive club level. Went on to play collegiately.
Where'd you go to high school?
Let me rewind. In high school, I played at Lake Mary High School when we had moved to Orlando.
We'll assume you guys were good.
Went to a state final my junior year, a state final for my senior year. So notice I said final means we didn't win anything.
Right.
But hey, a state final and a state final for. Played at St. Pete Junior College, but it wasn't collegiate soccer, it was more club soccer.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I played some there as I was getting AA. I went on to play at the University of West Florida for 3 years.
How'd you wind up at West Florida? Like, did you get recruited by West Florida? What made you decide that was your spot?
I was at St. Pete Junior College, and I remember on a spring break one year, I used my whole spring break to go to a tryout at South Florida, a tryout at Central Florida, a tryout at West Florida. So I kind of went to all of those. My parents were divorced, so I had one in Orlando, one in the South Florida area. Kind of just wanted to make my own path and go away from both of those. So chose West Florida. These are those things you talk about all the time, taking that right turn or that left in life that change everything.
Well,
so
West Florida, how did it influence? Because it seems like it was a perfect fit for you.
it was a good fit. I mean, some of my best friends today included were guys I met then from there that are still in my life. You know, you were talking about a school and a beach in the same sentence.
Right.
You don't get to say that very often.
Right.
Just the camaraderie of some of those guys and the people I met and things that have happened. I'm proud to say I'm an Argonaut.
Right. One of the neat, I think soccer players, right? You know, because of you and some of my friends in high school were really good soccer players. You know, me and you were neighbors in college, down the hall from each other. And so I was around a ton of your teammates, Nobles and Fozzie and Tommy.
Right.
And all of you were go-getters. And I think that's the fitness level of a soccer player is incredible.
It's different than any sport.
Right.
I mean, look at the amount of miles. Look it up. Put this stat on the podcast. Look it up. However your resource is, but look at the distance covered by a soccer player compared to any other sport.
Right, and I remember
unmatched. It's unmatched.
Of course, and I remember you like a Saturday in the summer for you was so crazy to me because you would ride down to do a workout in the morning at UWF because we weren't far away, but we weren't right on it.
Right.
And then you would ride to the beach, play hack sack all day,
right.
And then in the evening you'd come back to West Florida and play like competitively games.
Yeah.
And okay, if you don't know, from West Florida to the beach is a hill. It's scenic highway. That's a hill. That's all it is. And then there's 3 miles after that. That's a tough sled. And then you go. You didn't sit down. Like you had to have the
endurance.
Well, not just that. I mean, your fitness level was crazy, but also all of you, I think, have excelled in life as well. And I think that has to do with the lessons you learned in soccer?
Sure. I think all of us that play competitive sports, whether it be a club level, a high school level, a collegiate level, you know, and in sports you say there's as much to learn outside of the classroom as in. And
absolutely.
So some of the lessons learned on the field through your teammates, through competing, from winning, from losing, from tying a game, just all those things, they're all relatable to what you do in your life. So
and there's so much teamwork.
Yes.
You know, there's so much. I give you the ball, I cut to here, you give it back to me. You know, on defense, you're a string. Right. You know.
Well, you know, in football, you've got an offense and a defense. So you know, some are on, some are off. Soccer, you're both. Right. You know, when you have the ball, you're attacking your offense. When you don't have the ball, your defense, you're defending. So just being on the field for the flow of things and the transition of that, moving the ball from the front to the back. You know, when we lose the ball, we win the ball. Just some of those lessons. They're all transferable. They're all relatable. Right. I think you always hear, is it sport imitates life or life imitates sport?
Life imitates sport.
Life imitates sport. I think a lot of those come into play
and vice
with
versa,
some of the lessons that I've learned in this lifetime.
Sure. Also, where does the organization? Because when we were in college, I would notice you were the first person I ever saw with a daily planner.
Oh, really?
I never I don't think my parents rolled with a daily planner. I mean, they were organized, but I don't. They just kind of, they probably had them at work or whatever, right? They weren't like sitting around the house.
Right.
And you were always, you moved whatever didn't get done today to the next day. You boom, 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 boom. Where did that come from?
Still utilize that to this day. Technology, they want you to work more with the MacBook and online and use those planners, which I do because I'm asked
Well, that way other people can be involved.
Which is fine, but I still need my own.
Right.
I need my own, and I write down, certain things that happen in each week. I put on there things that need to be done, and at the end of the week, as I survey that, I've usually circled what I haven't done. I take those items and they move to the next week. Some of these things have been in here for months. They keep going until I can get to them, but nothing like checking a box, checking something off of a list.
Does that keep you from worrying? Because it's.
If I write it, it has to be done. It's hard to remember this many things that have to be done. So I'm always writing.
Like at one time, when you were running the conference's championship events, it's 8 teams, it's 21 sports.
Right.
And so you have to have, like you said, the Google Calendar and all that. But also you got to have because you're going to have doctor's appointments. You're going to have everything you got to go do. You got, Elena's going to have, your daughter's going to have things, Beth's going to have, your wife.
Right.
They're going to have things you need to be at. So it's
work-life balance. I mean, it happens every day.
And that's something I think too goes back to the college experience, because you were able to compartmentalize. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I still got to do that. I don't know how you slept, but I don't think you did. But you managed to be on track, which is hard.
Difficult. I think
and all you guys did.
Right. Well, you create that for yourself. I mean, in your daily being. If you're lazy, you're lazy.
Right. You can't be a lazy soccer player, though.
You can't be a lazy soccer player. And same thing. This is translating life to work. You can't be lazy at work either.
No.
There's things to be done, especially at a place like this, a level like this. The expectations are high.
Right.
We're not trying to be. We are excellent. So.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into that. That doesn't just happen.
Hundreds of state championships.
333 here at Westminster,
right.
Dating back to the beginning of athletics here. But yes, we are at 333 state championships here. It's quite a bit. Right.
Now, another thing that's neat to me about you is, you're approaching 40 when you get back into the workplace.
Right.
You're training people. I think probably because it fits in with being a dad. You can do something that you enjoy along with.
Right.
And then, Oglethorpe asks, do you want to try this? And you do. And then they say, do you want to do more? And you do. And then you take a chance going to somewhere else, and you do. And where does that stem from? The willingness to take on more, the willingness to try new things.
Well,
not all of us are like that.
Right. No, that came out of necessity. I mentioned earlier about being a stay-at-home dad. I was a stay-at-home dad, and when I went to return, I didn't go straight into college athletics. I went to what I was good at, and that was training younger kids. So I was coaching. I was just coaching a couple teams, a couple days a week, games on the weekend, getting involved in that, and that kind of opened up a door to get that invite to join a college team.
Right.
Be involved in that. And then you just kind of run with it. That's networking. That's internal networking while you're on the inside.
Right. Now let's talk about that networking. Okay, we have a friend that's a chef. His name's Phosphate. I hope he watches this. He told me one time, the reason I get to be the chef on this, I think he works for a billionaire, right? On the guy or something like that. If it's only a millionaire, I'm sorry. But he said, the reason why I get to do this is because I can get along with everybody.
Right. And he can.
Right.
Right.
But that's also your gift, right? You meet a guy, Oglethorpe, he invites you to do this.
Right.
Every place you go, it's important to you. I notice when you walk around here, you say hey to everybody.
Yeah. If I know, absolutely. And if I don't, I usually like to say hi. So that's just part of who I am. That's not anything I try to do. I think I just do that.
But that's being a teammate.
That's being a teammate. That can absolutely relate to sports. But I'm on teams here. I'm on an athletics team. I'm on a facilities team. I'm in a really unique position here to get to network with a lot of people,
Right.
to accommodate a lot of goals here. Again,
Right.
we've got 23 heads of programs here that they have needs. They have wants, they have a lot of requests, things that they want to be better. Can't say yes to everybody for
Right.
everything that they want, so kind of being the guardian of that and the liaison between their asks and their wants and helping accommodate those. We try, we can't accommodate all requests.
Right, well, sometimes too, this department's wants overlap that department's wants,
Right.
and you have to prioritize and things like that. But it helps if they understand that you're trying.
Exactly, and communicating. Just tell, being upfront about it. This is
Right.
something, this is on a list. We're not going to get to this now. We're going to get to this at some point. And some things require immediate attention. Some things can't wait.
Right.
There's a divot in the field that can't wait.
Right.
We
Right.
want that to be perfect and safe
Right.
for the kids playing in those spaces. So you have to monitor, and again, that's where it comes to writing some things down. I see you've written some things down. I mean, everything that we do,
Right.
it's good to be organized and kind of rank or rate how we're going to do this, how we're going to get there.
Right. Okay, so you come over to this job from college. I think people might think that, oh, well, why did you take a step down? But it's absolutely, when you see what this place is like, you will understand it is
Unique.
it's crazy.
Yes.
How happy are you to have found this?
Extremely, very. I mean, these are great opportunities that come to you. You surround yourself with great people, and these are
Right.
great people. So I'm
Right.
happy to.
And I believe that this opportunity, like, you weren't looking, you were happy where you were.
I was.
And a person you had worked with previously pitched your name.
Right.
And somebody reached out.
All of a sudden, I was applying for the position. All of a sudden, I was interviewing for the position. Made it to a finalist for the position. I mean, I had a 15-year career in collegiate athletics.
Right.
I was happy I was doing well. But when a place like Westminster calls you, you listen. And you come and you look at the opportunity. It was not only right for me, it was right for my family. Love the opportunity to come here and be around this type of student and student athlete.
Right.
And not only them, but you get to forge some friendships with their parents, with this faculty, with this staff.
Right.
Again, I think I'm in a unique role getting to be this closely related to everybody in athletics, and that's the coaches, their staffs, their players,
Right.
but also getting to go across campus to our facilities department and be able to have those kind of relationships with the grounds team, with transportation, with the HVAC team, with
Right.
environmental services, with the project manager.
Right.
Just everybody, everybody. So that's a really unique spot for me. I like coming into work. I like,
Right.
being around. I love sports. So the opportunity to be around games, be around practices all the time, it's just what I like to do, and I'm fortunate to be here.
And once you got into admin, it became about every sport.
Yes, I was. Soccer. If I had soccer is kind of my thing, but yes, other sports have grown on me so much. The opportunity to.
Well, they all have their own unique lessons, their own unique thing. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. But it's never ending. When a fall sport's in, they're kind of done. They're regrouping for next. But you can in this role because fall rolls into winter, winter rolls into spring, spring rolls into summer.
Right.
I'm a 12-month employee, and the grind is consistent. It's constant. But I love it. I love being part of it.
Right. Man, this is such a neat scenario for you to be in. And also, it seems like you don't just place yourself in spots where you can make money. You've always placed yourself in spots where you were happy with the scenario. Was that always important to you?
It should be important to everybody. I mean,
Right.
I know that's not always offered for everybody, but yes, for me, once you find your niche, is it niche?
Yeah.
Once you find it, you stay in that lane. Again, I keep using the word network, but I think that's one of my stronger skill sets is the ability to network with
Right.
so many people and help solve their problems. I don't know. I think I'm circling. I don't feel like I'm answering your question.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely answering the question. Let's take a break real quick, and
Okay.
we'll come right back. Thank you for watching this episode of Surrounded by Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Faust Builders, McCrory Homes, DNS Enterprises, Coastal Landscaping, FFS Roofing and Construction LLC, MEG Financial, Warren Averett, Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant, and Campbell Football Evaluations. These wonderful companies have come on board and allowed me to chase knowledge wherever I can find it, to try to figure out where life and sport intersect, how our community is striving to ensure a positive future by teaching folks how to maximize themselves inside the larger group. Please like, subscribe, and comment to these videos, and follow us on X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, where I can kind of dig in and highlight a more varied group of things and spotlight some of these kids as much as possible, and any kind of content I can figure out that hopefully will entertain you a little bit. Get involved by messaging me through any of these social media formats, and I will try to get back with you. Let me know if you have ideas of shows I could do or something I might want to cover. If I have the time, which time is always limited, it's the most precious commodity we have. If I have the time, I'll try to help out. Thank you again, and back to the show. Welcome back, folks. I want to ask you real quick. I'm here with Mike Patrick, and I appreciate you giving me your time. I think I've gotten a tour of every facility you've worked at, which I appreciate too. Like at Spring Hill, like there's an area where Babe Ruth stood that they have plaqued up, which is cool. That kind of thing, right?
Right. Well, we've, I think we met in '93. You want to call
Something
it
like that?
'93
Yeah.
when we were this is just that, right turn, left turn thing where you end up. We met at a place we lived in Pensacola. We were neighbors. We found a common interest in music.
Yeah.
When the music genre was so good.
Yeah.
We're talking mid '90s, how good it was.
Yeah.
And, the friendship that we've carried from then until today, and just following each other's career paths and where we've been. And,
it's also not easy we interact every week, at least.
Yeah, in some capacity, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty unique.
It is, and I'm really impressed by what you've done on this platform.
Thank you.
I saw where you were from your grassroots of this, and where it started, and your podcast, and the development, and what you're doing for the Pensacola community in whole is. It's enjoyable for me to watch you succeed, and I think you are succeeding, and enjoy what you're doing for the community. And you're, just like you talked about me being soccer, but expanding into other sports. You're baseball, but gosh, look at you at soccer at a World Cup game yesterday, and putting a pot out, and the things you're doing with football. And I've seen you interview softball, and just really embracing that community, especially with some of the things going on at West Florida, and those platforms that are about to open up for you. So I'm excited to see your path continue to elevate as well.
Well, before we wrap this up, man, what about West Florida going D1? How does that feel to be in?
It was. I was, when I'll be transparent here. When I played there, we were an NAIA school.
Right.
Back then, I believe our 4-team conference consisted of Huntington, AUM, and I know they're going to hate me for not remembering who the fourth was. Birmingham Southern, maybe?
Right.
Which tells you how old I am. I think I just timestamped my school. One of these universities doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
But just the evolution of that, watching them, I was excited to see them go from NAIA to Division II.
Right.
And follow at that level, and the joys of winning a national championship. Your alma mater, you're an alumni, and you won a national championship at that.
It's been a great
and that's in football. I mean, they've done it in women's soccer and some other things as well. There, I know. But now this is kind of the next progression, D1.
Right.
D1. So it's, being an alumni, a proud alumni of there, I'm happy for them. I look forward to looking at the schedule. I was looking at the men's soccer schedule. I saw they're coming to Georgia State.
How great is that?
To play a game. I'll be at that game.
Right.
Look forward to that. Want to come down and see some games there. be fun to just look at the scores for the weekend and see how they're doing and how they transition into this.
Right.
Not everybody, I think, is this similar to what maybe happened was South Florida and Central Florida? Were they always D1s? Or did they have the same kind of progression, or North Florida?
I don't know for sure. I think the North Florida, yes. Like that, the whole conference that UWF is going to be in, that whole conference is basically what used to be UWF's D2 conference. And they've all begun to move up. But, it's also the Southern Misses and the Troys, they all had to move up as well. It's same thing, you get a little bit bigger, you move up, and then you start playing really hard teams on the road, get the big paycheck.
Right.
But also the neat thing too is we will be able to have for example, I saw North Florida play Florida State at North Florida. It was on the North Florida Conference feed.
Right.
So we'll be able to do that with the Auburns and the FSUs and the Floridas in baseball and other things. We already have the SEC tournament in town.
Right.
For women's soccer, that kind of thing. It's going to be neat.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's for Argonaut Nation, the opportunity that we're Division I now. And we're, down the road, we're going to see games, don't they, soccer's playing North Carolina.
How crazy is that?
In their first year. I mean, that's crazy
to
to think about,
big time. Yeah,
say that. And I think we'll see some of the same things on the football side, I think. I think that's going to it's going to be a great time when we play South Florida, Central Florida, and who knows, maybe a Florida State.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows where it can go? So that I'm eager to watch what they do.
Like yourself, you don't know till you try.
Right.
And at some point, you're growth-wise with UWF, you're hitting your head on the ceiling.
Right.
So at some point you have to say, well, we need to open the door and see what's on top of the next floor.
Right.
Right.
And that's what they've done. They've done a great job at it. I think the progression has been organic.
Yeah.
I think it's been a natural. Again, I think they weren't just given this; they earned this.
Right.
They deserve this.
Sure.
So there's NCAA committees that review these things. You can't just apply to go to D2 or D1. There's processes involved there. So, this NCAA committee looked at this, saw what they did in a short time in Division II, that they can be competitive, and awarded it to them. So it's here. I know this is a probationary period, but this first year, I don't think you can do anything postseason right away. So let's see how well we do with this and the progression. And I hope to be on one of your pods in another year or two, and maybe we're telling some stories about some things we've done in the early part of that.
Right. Well, also, I think you could your progression kind of is similar, right?
Could be, sure.
You at some point you had to try more. At some point you kept trying more, and it kept working.
And yes, and here we are. Doing a pod.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you for having me.
This has been Surrounded by Sports. Guys, on the back end of this, I'm going to run like the end of this, but we are going to talk a little bit of World Cup. I'm going to film it. I'm going to break that up and show it in different places, and it will be on the back end of this as well. But first of all, thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you for coming on.
Perk Dog.
Thank you for showing me around.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
Appreciate you. Awesome. Surrounded by Sports.
Surrounded by Sports. Peace.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around, checking out this little bonus thing right here. Okay, I got to take in a World Cup game yesterday.
Oh, so happy for you.
Overwhelming.
Should be. It is.
First of all, the Georgia Mercedes-Benz Dome is crazy.
Is that your first time in there?
I was in the Georgia Dome multiple times.
Okay.
But I had never been in that.
Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. And it's sold out. I mean, to get there in a sold-out environment's a little different feeling, too.
Yeah.
So full of
100 decibels.
Yeah. And a great game. Got to see some goals.
It was. I was telling my buddy that Michael Douglas, who I went with, I was like, maybe it was good that Spain didn't score in the opener.
Right.
Because they really needed points. And they were aggressive.
Right.
Aggressive at the start. I mean, they had 13, 14 shots on goal in the first half. So my question to you, okay, just soccer in general, right? Because a lot of people from my area, Pensacola, don't watch a lot of soccer. When you watch a World Cup, what are some of the differences between regions? Like the European teams play, it's almost like fighters, right? Mexican fighters fight differently than European fighters. What are some of the differences in?
So this is a great thing. First of all, this World Cup this cup right here just expanded from 32 teams to 48 teams. It's a big difference in itself.
Right.
If you look at the early, the first World Cup in the 30s, I think there were 13 teams in it. It went from 13 to, 16, 18. There was a little growth in that. I think it went from 18 to 24. It went from 24 to 32. So, these are just single digit hops in growth.
Right.
But now they just went from 32 to 48.
Right.
That's a significant jump. That's a lot more teams in it. So it's, and that's the beauty of group play. I think when you're in group play, that's where you do get the different styles. The way they set this up, there's the number one seeds that go across the board. So you avoid a France, a Spain, a Germany, and Argentina first round matchup. They're in the top of each group. And then you get, kind of second tier and then maybe some first time debutantes to the cup in these groups. So group play is so important. You've got 3 games. There are ties available here, 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie. Goal differential becomes so important. But to answer your question about styles, that's what I think is the beauty of the World Cup.
Right.
It's there's nothing like this. Maybe the Olympics could be close when there's contrasting styles, but you're talking about a month-long tournament of all of these, and each week gets more and more. It just continues to elevate.
Right.
I think soccer, it's called 2 things. It's called the beautiful game.
Right.
Sometimes you see these things that happen, and these scores is beautiful. Also called the cruel game because. You can get a late equalizer or a late goal that causes a loss. It's cruel. It can be quite cruel to you. So, I think that's what makes the Cup so interesting are the difference in styles.
Right.
It's hard to say what, I think you're going to say Germans are big and strong, and you're going to say, Spain, Argentina, Portugal play a little bit more ticky-tacky, keep the ball.
Footwork,
there's a lot of those going on. Some people are built around solid defenses with a solid goalkeeper. Some people have great attack. Depth at their midfielders. There's just so many components to the game.
When you played, especially at the NAIA level, you were a unique player because of your size and your speed. Now, when you watch, both Spain and Saudi had a lot of guys that were tall.
Yeah.
And then, there were a couple of really big guys on Spain just all the way around big, right? And the Williams guy that came in late, he's a speedster, but he's shoulders like that on him, What's the name of the kid who scored the first goal?
Lamine Yamal.
18 years old,
Yeah.
the number 1 young player, the rookie or whatever in the world. And when you go to see sporting events, right? Mm-hmm. There are people that leap out at you because they move differently. Deion Sanders was like that. We saw him play live and something, and he moved differently than the other football players.
And Lamine should have looked that way to you yesterday. You should have felt that way.
When he decided I needed to get right there,
he was there.
He got there significantly quicker. Like the stride eats up 4 yards.
Right.
And that's just unique athleticism.
To be young again. That is one thing you don't retain. That was nice to have period of my life when you were fast, but that's not something you do retain. You have a certain period that you have that.
It's like singers, right?
Yeah.
Singers, that instrument changes. The guitarists can get better.
Exactly, they can. So that's a great analogy between the two.
Yeah, right. So, so the U.S. team has lit it up. Tell me, I've always thought of the U.S. as kind of being like a merger, like we are in general, right? We're nation of immigrants, whatever we call it, right? But this is a very fast team too. It looks like.
Yeah, we're. This is.
And
I
strong.
think we could argue this is the best U.S. team we put on the field. We're deeper,
especially athleticism.
We're more advanced, just technically in some of the things that we do. Coaching, that's progressed. But again. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. This is great that we're 2-0.
They had a good draw, right?
This is great that we're 2-0. This is great that we've won our group. We're going to advance into the knockout round. That's great. Remember, when all these teams advance and they're talk about the knockout round, that's 32 teams. That's what last Cup was. That's how it began.
Right.
So we're just getting to that right away. We've just kind of sorted through that. We're going to have 32. This is where games, there's no more ties.
Right.
This is where, you know, when the whistle blows, if the score is still tied, we're going to play 2 overtime periods, regardless, completely. And if it's still tied, we're going to go to penalty kicks. So this is the real win or go home.
Right.
Is where we're at now. So this is where it should get exciting. But I'm excited for us. Some of the things we're doing on the field with our front line, with our back line, with our midfield players. There's reason to be excited. There's reasons to be hyped. We've got guys that are playing in some of the top leagues in the world now that can compete, and it's a game.
Right.
That's why they play it.
Right.
Otherwise, they just give it to somebody right now. So get to that knockout round. You know, this is where momentum is huge. This is where you get in, and you get out of that 32, you're in 16. You know, you get out of that one, you're moving into 8 to 4, 4 to 2.
Yeah.
I think once you get to the knockout round game, whoever can win 5 games in a row is your World Cup champion.
Right. Tell me this. Who are your favorites right now? Like, when you look at it, who do you see as? I hear France being thrown around a lot.
Well, everybody. If you don't mention France when asked this question, you're not really watching the game.
Right.
They're the players that they have on the field, the depth of them. I mean, they're one that should go pretty far in this tournament. Argentina's a defending champ, so to be the champ, you have to beat the champ.
Right.
Spain is hyped extremely high coming in and now. They maybe after the first game people didn't feel that. I think they're starting to feel that now because once you get out of your group, that's not a team you want to play.
Also,
you don't want to play them.
Spain takes over a building.
Yeah, well, there's you won't. How many people do that? I'm actually going to a game this week.
Okay.
I'm going down to Miami for the Scotland-Brazil game. I'm going to be with Noble. And going
Noble's is Scottish, and he was your roommate in college.
He was my roommate in college when we lived right down the hall from you, or right down the building from you.
Brazil's tough sledding though.
That is, absolutely. Never an easy match. So I'll be marching in with the Scotland Tartan Army for that one.
Yeah.
With the guys, so looking forward to that. Again, that concludes, this week will conclude group play. I think sometime this weekend, maybe Saturday, it's done, but we'll move into the third game for everybody is done this week. And I think Sunday we move into the round of 32 games.
Right.
So each week, again, like I said, it's getting some momentum now.
Right.
And again, we've got, while a lot of these countries have brought their fans over here and they're touring with them, we're here.
Right.
I mean, as we advance, we're gonna have home court advantage in some of these games.
Right.
So
right.
It's just building some momentum. I keep using that word, but I think if we can get through that first one, the second one, I think at that point it's a game.
Right.
We're going to play it. We've shown we can play with the best teams in the world, and I think I believe the farthest we've been is to a quarterfinal. So if we can, let's match or exceed that moving forward.
It's a big win.
Yes,
Big win for the sport in the because it has. It's funny. People talk about, well, this isn't as popular as it used to be talking about. Maybe football's as popular or whatever.
Right.
And then the stats never really show it. Like basketball was dying when the season started. And now more people have watched it than have ever watched it over the course of a year. But I think everything is a niche now. And the niche in soccer is so loyal, and it is growing even more so. Because it used to be, when we were growing up, it was 3, 5, and 10, and you watched whatever was on, whether it was downhill skiing or whatever, right? It was Wild World of Sports, whatever was on. But now, sport, like everything else, is competing with Netflix, competing with video games, competing with everything else. And so, in a way, everything is not as big a deal as it once was, but there's more loyalty to your game. Right? And you can feel the swelling, especially with it being here, of soccer or proper football in our community.
I love when you say proper football.
Yeah.
I love that. No, it's going to be fun. I mean, we've still got 3 or 4 weeks left to go on this.
Yeah.
I think the final is June 19th.
Right.
So what's the date today? The 22nd. Almost. Still several weeks left to go.
22 days or something.
22 days. So
3 weeks.
It's exciting. Exciting times here.
Thank you for giving me your time, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank you again, Perk Dog.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you. Good
Yes,
luck.
Sir.